Welcome to Real Flix Reviews. We're like a book club for people who hate reading. This week we picked the movie Oz and Great and Powerful, made in 2013, starring James Franco. This week we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens,
Hello.
and the man in the lower left-hand corner is Ryan Preston. This week we're doing Oz the Great and Powerful as our movie pick, and James, do you have the
Sure,
synopsis?
I have the succinct synopsis.
It's another IMDb.
A small-time magician arrives in an enchanted land and is forced to decide if he will be a good man or a great one.
So, what movie was that describing?
Right.
Lots of them.
Exactly correct.
Okay, now they're just getting vague.
Yeah, I'll jump into this one. You know, I actually like James Franco's role in this movie. I thought it was a lot of a good change from his whiny Henry Osborn role that
Or the 127 seconds.
Yeah. So, you know, there wasn't much whining out of him in this one. I thought it was pretty a good change for him, especially, you know, having Sam Raimi direct it. Because all the movies I've ever seen James Franco in with Sam Raimi,
Yeah.
he's whiny.
He
So-
whined a little bit.
A little bit in this one, or are you talking about the Spider-Man?
No, this one.
Okay, I was going to say,
No.
jeez.
In Spider-Man, it was all, no, you know.
And I got to say something about Sam Raimi and the way they build this movie. I kept thinking, like, could you guys stop saying from the director of the Spider-Man trilogy and pick a good movie that he did?
Evil Dead, maybe?
Yeah, like pick some Evil Dead.
Did he do all the Evil Deads?
Yeah, I believe he did
Yeah.
1 and 2.
Then why didn't
And this new one.
And
the
Army of
new
Darkness.
Yeah, so
and
why
Army
didn't
of Darkness.
why didn't they say from the Army of Darkness trilogy?
Because I think it would be picking from a different genre. They were going for, you know, the mass multitudes of the
The
fanboys.
color and the expansive world and the big budget kind of stuff.
Because, I
So,
mean, if you're going for the Evil Dead fans, you're looking
but
for
that's-
people that
that's
are...
just marketing bullshit. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? The way that they... It's all trying to get the demographic, which is one of the things I was going to say is I was really trying to figure out who they were making this movie for. I mean, it seemed to be, you know, about like the same age frame as the original one, which
Yeah.
is like kids, you know.
I would say this one is one of those made for kids, but parents will like it. Kind of like what the Shreks were, but not
Then
what
it gets a little intense though for kids.
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, it does.
But I think like the Shrek, I mean, so Shrek had a lot of adult humor. This one didn't have a lot of adult humor, but had more violence. So I think it's
Yeah.
kind of the same
Well,
thing.
Well, they had a handful of nods and whatnot going throughout the entire thing, going back to the original.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There was things that we were talking about before this show where, I mean, the lion comes in and charges when he's saving the monkey. That's what the lion was.
Oh.
And obviously the straw men. And
Right.
I didn't see anybody, you know, like John was saying, there was somebody with an axe that turned into the Tin Man later. I didn't quite see that.
I never noticed anybody who was going to be a Tin Man. Or
Yeah, I didn't notice anybody that was going to be a Tin Man either. But that's not to say that that it's not in there. I'd have
Yeah.
to watch it again to find him.
I
But
don't remember it, but it was probably subtle.
you know, I was pleasantly surprised by the transition they did between Kansas and Oz. I was very happy with that, especially with the way that they took the little box and turned it into the widescreen. I thought that was
Right.
really well
I thought
done.
it was something wrong with the aspect ratio. I'm kind of like looking around like, is somebody going to fix this? And then
No,
it just,
see, I knew
then
what
it-
was
it
going on.
switched I'm like, oh, I get it. That's clever because yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I was really happy with that. I thought it was a really good way to transition between Kansas and Oz. I thought that was a
I
really
agree.
good artistic idea that came in.
Well, in as much as the 1939 one went from black and white, to color, 15 minutes into it, and then because wasn't that the first movie filmed in color? Was The Wizard of Oz?
I think so.
I
One
don't
of them.
actually know that, but
I think it was one of them.
but I know in
I'm not sure
39.
if it was the first one.
I'm pretty sure in 39 though, color wasn't the main thing.
No.
So
it was brand new, and that was like their showcase kind of thing.
And
Yeah.
it had to be amazing going from a standard black and white to oh my god, it's color.
Right. Yeah, this vibrant, oversaturated, color that was just unbelievable to look at. They kind of gave you the same sort of feeling watching this one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I actually liked most of the characters in here. I gotta say, I liked Mila Kunis until she tried to play this wicked witch, and then it was too much of a stretch for her. But I wasn't sure if it was the way that she was trying to portray Oz's interpretation of a witch, and that's why it was wrong.
I didn't like the makeup,
the makeup choice, and the directing choice and whatnot, and yet partially why the hell did you pick Mila Kunis to play the evil wicked witch of the West, which is the hideous person?
Well, I think part of the
a really bad person to try to make look ugly.
Well, I think part of the problem is her she just looked like Mila Kunis with a little modification.
Right.
I think if they made her a little more hideous looking, I think it would have fit better.
Yeah,
the one,
I'm not like you guys either, but the whole time that she's talking the entire movie, I'm thinking Meg Griffin.
Actually, I saw the movie with a friend of mine, and through the whole thing, he's going, "Shut up, Meg."
You know, the only thing that there was only like maybe 2 or 3 parts that I thought Meg. So to be honest, that's it. But there
was those handful of moments where it just kind of took me out. I mean, she's such a prominent voice on that thing. But I gotta disagree with you on James Franco being the good choice for this one.
I thought he was.
Well, who would you have picked?
I don't know. The whole time I'm thinking this movie would be awesome if James Franco was a better actor.
He could have been a better actor. I will give you that. There were parts that he could have done a better job, but I thought he actually played it pretty well.
Who would you have chosen if
I don't know, but I was expecting more of like this sort of semi-old snake oil salesman kind of thing, as opposed to the.
Hello, are you there?
That's our audience calling, telling us to hurry up.
I'll tell you to shut up.
You're wrong.
That was James Franco. I'm gonna come slap you.
To shut the fuck up. I don't know. It was a little younger. It seemed to be all like smiles and like I'm just gonna just smile my way through this movie, And,
so you think he should have been a greasier character?
Well,
like a lawyer.
I don't know. It was just it didn't seem to be fitting for that kind of little young, and I don't know. It just seemed to be kind of lacking on the especially like in Kansas.
I
Some
think
of the dialogue came off a little like
cheesy.
Like, hell is that delivery about? And
I think it was. I'll be honest. I think the character he played was a good guy trying to be an ass, and that's kind of the gist of it. And you see,
I don't know. Those music boxes were getting passed around quite a bit.
That's the other thing. How the hell?
The thing is, I mean, like any good magician, he's doing it to try to get laid.
Yeah.
But the other thing was that I always was sitting there thinking, like, dude, are you this stupid to give the same music box to everybody?
Of course.
They're sisters, dude. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't talk about it?
Well, I don't think he gave the other chick a music box. I think
she just made it up.
Yeah, I think that's what she did. But I gotta say, there was one character to me that jumped out that I thought was really well done, really well played, and that's the one played by Joey King. She was the girl in the wheelchair, and later she played the China girl. Yeah. I was blown away by the way that she did that role. She did it really well.
The acting and the animation, it was amazing.
Except for there was a
VO. I mean, 98% of this movie was completely green screen and just James Franco kind of talking to nothing.
Yeah, there was
ball on a string.
There was a couple parts where James Franco was a little bit off with his hand placement trying to hold her, but I think that would go to the editor.
I think that's just a testament to us sort of being like the
sticklers,
the guinea pig generation of this whole CG nonsense.
Yeah,
I don't say nonsense like it's all terrible, but I mean, it's still kind of in its infancy phase.
And I think,
never-ending story.
Well, I think us three especially, we pick apart more. Where most people are like, oh, that was cool, when we're realizing, hey, he was half a centimeter off one way, and so
picking her up and putting him on his shoulder was a little bit.
But I mean, look, really, those things will take you out of like, he's holding on to nothing there.
Yeah.
He's just. You're wrong on that. It will take you out of the moment, and the idea is to sort of, escape into the movie.
Yeah.
Because I thought this whole thing was almost like an HD, like a Blu-ray demo disc.
Oh yeah,
But, you know,
seriously, this is the one they're going to be playing in Best Buy on the 40 screens that are on the wall.
Yeah, because I mean the colors were just out of this world. It was really well done.
Almost like it looked
reminds
like
me of Tim Burton kind of style where you get the contrast. You know what I mean?
I kind of did get a little feel of Timmy in there.
because this
Yeah.
seemed,
And not necessarily in his style or ripping it off, but how the way that Sam Raimi was able to contrast between the two worlds so vastly. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree with you there.
because I have on my notes, this the first thing I wrote down was it looks like a combination between Alice in Wonderland and Dr. Seuss.
Right. Seriously.
And I can turn it over to you. I pretty much covered everything I wanted to.
I was thinking the exact same thing, John, as far as like it seems like he's going down the rabbit hole more than he's walking down the yellow brick road.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean this almost looked like on the verge of somebody who was having, like hallucinations or took too much LSD.
Right.
Because you had random stuff like the rock flowers and
Or there were more crystal
the weird
flowers.
little
But
monkey thing, and
I
then
was thinking of like the little river
I was
fairies
waiting for
that
the
popped
little
out.
dog flower to start singing.
yeah,
Or smelling his crotch.
I loved all the visuals though. The grass that moved up and down.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, I liked the visuals. I mean, it seemed kind of. I don't remember this in any Alice and
Yeah, there was a couple-
Wizard of Oz.
There was a couple
Oz
things
didn't
that I
seem
was thinking.
that vast and expansive and this amazing landscape.
The other question I had is, okay, they had all this gold. What the hell do they use all the gold for?
Right.
And how
They're
did they get
obviously
it?
taking the emerald from the forest. I mean, way to chop down the emerald forest to make your fucking houses. Liberals are having a.
Oh, wow.
Hey, they were just going green.
Oh, man.
Lame.
You're
Why
welcome.
did you go for that?
Because it was there.
Poor form, old man. Poor form. The one thing I thought was pretty amazing is this fits really well into the original movie, which surprises me considering how much Hollywood likes changing stories. That this does lead up. It even plays homage to the original, like with James Franco and the curtain.
Right.
One thing that I was kind of looking for was I was looking for something early in Kansas that tied into the Wizard. Something like where they would have Dorothy, like her grandmother or something, was hitting on the Wizard or something. I was looking for something like that. But
It could have been. I don't remember the character's name.
But I was thinking, do you remember? Was it her grandmother that she was staying with?
I think so.
Yeah. Do you think that was her grandmother that he was
I don't
hitting
know
on?
if they're gonna get that deep in. I mean, how many people are gonna be picking up that kind of weird ass Easter egg? I don't think. I think you're overthinking that part.
I thought I was too, but I was hoping that they would do something.
And there's the other thing.
Like I said, they had a nods to the original.
Yeah, but just the Cowardly Lion and the...
Well, I think it was, I think they had a lot more homage to it because they had the black and white at the beginning. They had the Lollipop Guild or whatever they call it. There was a lot of little suggestions to the original, which is part of the story, but
Not to mention they even brought back the poppy field, which I always thought was weird even in 1939 that they're sort of tipping it to like, oh, these people are all doped up on opium now.
There's the poppy.
Except the little China girl can run through the entire field because apparently she has an amazing tolerance.
I was thinking it was because she had, different lung system or something.
So there was,
I was thinking that because she was from Chinatown, she just spent a lot of time in opium.
oh,
that's a good one.
Strike one. So there was a poppy field in the original. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when they fell asleep on the way to the Emerald City, and I can't believe that I remember this.
Yeah.
Druggy.
But no,
Druggy.
the whole thing,
Druggy.
they fell asleep, and because what's her name, the Wicked Witch, made the poppies grow like poppies.
Oh yeah. And the other thing is, did they explain the Dark Forest and what created it? And why was the Good Witch hanging out in the Evil Forest?
Well, they did explain that.
Yeah, right.
She was running away, but
No, she wasn't. The Good Witch was out there visiting her dad's grave.
well, that was.
Oh, is that what that was?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yikes.
shit,
Where the
I
hell
didn't
were
get
you
that.
guys on that part?
I think the Dark Forest, in terms of like, oh, there's evil that lives here, so everything grows evil. Easy answer.
Yeah.
And
The other thing is, I loved that the blood oath monkey.
yeah.
It's like, I wish you had said something before I gave the oath.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, really? Yeah, the monkey was really well done. Who was that?
They were always giving nods back to, another nod to the original was that everybody from his Kansas life is populating Oz.
Who did Mila Kunis play in Kansas?
I don't remember.
Because the two witches, I don't remember.
I don't think she played anything in there. It was just the Good Witch.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. So what else?
And James Franco.
Zach Braff.
Zach Braff was the monkey.
Yeah, Zach Braff was the monkey.
So what about you, Ryan?
What's that?
So what about anything stand out to you? I mean, I'm passing the ball to you.
Oh, right. Other than what we talked about, like I said, I felt a little flat on James Franco's, performance in it.
His performance was
it
was one-dimensional. His performance was very one-dimensional.
Of turning himself into the character. He's good at playing himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's great in Pineapple Express because he is a stoner. And he's good in Freaks and Geeks because he was a high school student. And I mean, he was like the pretty boy kind of thing. That's what he's good at. But then you put him in this kind of role, and I didn't think he nailed it as well as
I think the main issue I had is I think all the other characters were multi-dimensional. I think he was a very one-dimensional character.
Right. Yeah. And the movie was kind of too. It was insanely predictable as far as like, I guess we all know how this is going to end. After a half an hour into watching it.
Well,
you've seen The Wizard of Oz, so you know where the story's going.
Like, he's probably going to use his con man and trickery to trick the people into thinking, or trick the witches into thinking that he's a wizard, and then there you go. So it seemed like a long lead up for that.
They didn't.
So you think that they could have summed this up in 30 minutes?
What's that?
You think they could have summed this up in 30 minutes?
Very intense 30 minutes.
Sure. Oh yeah. No, well,
Bunnies?
I was hoping to see a little, maybe more of the first act. Of him in Kansas, sort of where he came from, like a little more into the type of man that he started out as.
So you wanted to see a little bit more of the black and white?
You sort of. All I'm saying is it seemed to be a little more Disney cutter.
Well, it was Disney.
So basically, you're saying you would like to have more backstory on why he became
a con man.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily why he became a con man, but maybe how good of a con man he really was, and maybe going from town to town, a couple of places or something like that, and showing a little more of his tricks.
Because it did explain some of that for a bit when they end the trailer talking to his.
I was hoping that they would show a little more of like his sort of like ingenuity. I did kind of tip it at the end, but I mean, like, again, it just seemed to be kind of a cookie cutter way to tell a story as far as at the end, like, I love Thomas Edison and that kind of stuff, and this will help, and then they figure out the big plan.
I think part of the issue with this movie, I think, was time. It was already a long movie. I think if they added 20 more minutes to it, I think people would have started getting patient.
20 minutes out of it to fit that in.
I actually think everything really fit together. I mean, I agree it was kind of predictable, it was kind of cookie cutter, but it's also Oz. I saw the trailer and knew everything about it, so I mean, it's not hard.
Exactly. So, and again, I'm probably not exactly the demographic for it. So the things that I was watching, like James said, I love the China girl character, was amazing. Whoever that girl was,
Joey
really
King.
That's the little flying monkey and the bellhop thing was awesome. A bunch of old references and stuff like that. All in all, I mean, for what it was, I thought it was kind of really good, better than I was expecting. So,
okay.
So what do you give it?
I'd go for just a kind of a standard 3. Like, take your kids. James, did you watch this with your kid?
No, it was she hasn't seen Oz or anything, so.
Okay. So no frame of reference for it.
Yeah.
What about you, James?
I mean, okay, let me ask you guys this: Did it make you want to watch Wizard of Oz again after seeing the end of it?
It kind of made me want to see it again, just so I could brush up on a few things. But no, not really.
Okay.
I mean,
it sort of gave me that feeling just a little bit, like, now I kind of want to, pick it up where this left off and see how sort of well it matches up,
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I kind of did. I mean, I'm not a big
like I said,
Wizard of Oz fan.
Sort of like your standard kind of average, like, good movie. don't pay the $28 to go see it, like 3D and
no,
everything
no,
like
no.
that. But it's enjoyable.
I guess it's saying that, I could maybe a couple of days, a couple of weeks from now, I could totally sit down if I'm bored and watch Wizard of Oz and go, oh, okay, that's what that led on to, but I wouldn't have purposely gone out of my way to see the original.
Right. Yeah.
What do you give it, James?
Well, I'm kind of on the fence between a 3 and a 4. I think it's good.
Just because you're in love with James Franco.
Harsh. Strike
Serious?
2.
Are you serious over there?
Hey, are you serious over there?
I think he's jealous of the fact you're not giving him some love.
I think so. I think it's because I'm not on the same page with you. I think I actually like the fact that I think Franco did a better job than I've seen him do in the past.
I agree. I agree.
To be straight out, I think he did a better job than I've seen him do in the past.
Well,
like I said, shush.
I can mute you, boy.
Like I said, I don't like his whining. I saw some whining in this movie, not a lot. But, it is a 2-hour movie, so there's going to be some whining. But, all in all, I thought the supporting cast around him did such an amazing job that even if he didn't do that great of a job, they did such a good job that held him up.
Yeah, Rachel
that I got to say, give it a 4. I mean, I liked Zach Braff. He did a great job in both of his roles. The Joey King or whatever, the China girl, she did really well. So, I'm going to stick with the 4.
This is the part where I'm in the same boat. It definitely, I think the movie was good. It's definitely a strong 3, and I agree with James that the cast really helped James Franco. I think James Franco found his type of movie, though. I'm a personal believer that all actors have at least one genre they're good at, and playing this type of role, he seems to do well at. Kind of the whiny, unwanted hero type of guy.
Okay.
I give it a 3. It's a strong 3. This is definitely a must-watch if you've never seen it.
But if you haven't seen The Wizard, I suggest you watch them back-to-back type thing.
Watch the original.
But everybody pretty much at this point has seen The Wizard of Oz, so that's why I said I could recommend it to anybody. Because if you've seen The Wizard of Oz, then watch this movie, and you'll be entertained.
I definitely say watch the original and watch this. This is definitely a must-watch. The visuals make it really cool. I mean, it's not a movie that... The story at time gets boring, but the visuals make up for the lack of depth in some areas of it, I think.
Right.
So overall, I give it a strong 3 out of 5.
And you know what? Just on another note, when you watch the original, it came out in 1939. That was the height of technology at the time for color achievement. This nobody had ever seen anything close to that before. And from that, which looks completely well beyond antiquated now, and you're seeing, this kind of thing, it's just insane how far movies have come from, the heyday to this.
Yeah.
So now it's the movie news section of the show, and I had a question for you. And I know we talked about this before, but what do you think about J.J. Abrams directing Star Trek and Star Wars? There's
they could have given it to a better guy.
Because there's kind of a flame war between the two, because apparently Star Wars and Star Trek fans don't mix very well.
It doesn't matter. You've given the control to a person who on his deathbed, I mean, would never in a million years do anything to basically, he's not going to F that up.
Well, here's the question: are they going to make it the bright and shiny stuff like the first, the prequels 1, 2, and 3? Are they going to have it more of the low budget, gritty 4, 5, and 6?
I think he realized. I mean, well, he has the perfect test. You know what I mean? These people. Here's these 3 movies that everybody loves. Okay, I'm talking 4, 5, and 6, or just the original Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi.
I think we found
here's these movies that became seminal classics, and then in the '90s, late '90s. They decided they're going to make them again, and they pissed off a bunch of people. So he has that as a test. Don't do what they did, essentially. So he'll probably dial it back, not a lot, but enough to where people are going to give notice to, like how much he cares about the universe, essentially.
And the next question is, should they go with the expanded universe? The expanded universe being all the books that have come out since the movies, or should they just go from a completely new direction?
Well, see, that's the thing is they have to almost use the existing universe because that's what everybody sort of fell in love with, and he has his.
Well, the expanded universe is not in the movies; it's all book form.
I understand, but I mean, all of it is canon, though. Everything from A to Z that's been put out like by Lucasfilm in terms of Star Wars is canon. Nothing overlaps or crosses over or contradicts itself. So he has the ultimate sandbox in which to create the best story that he can, and I think he's the perfect guy to do it.
So you're saying, like, have, the evil Dark Sidious who's related to everybody to, so you're saying use the existing books and add it to the existing movie canon.
You can basically cherry pick the parts of it that you want to basically make the best story. You have the ultimate Lego kit. What do you want to do with it?
Star Wars Lego. What do you think, James?
Yeah, Star Wars Lego kit.
I think we found a fanboy.
I'll agree with him. I like Star Wars and Star Trek. So
no, I like them both. If I had to pick one, I go with Star Wars over that. I mean, that's awesome to force crush somebody. I mean, you can't find that in Star Trek.
I'm more looking forward to
well, I guess Q could force crush you,
yeah.
But
hell yeah, totally
yes,
works.
Dark Lord. Anyway, so I think Abrams will do fine. I don't give a crap if he's doing both. If he does horrible on either one, he's going to get, tarred and feathered.
Well,
so,
that's what I'm saying is I think what he flat out realizes is that he has no choice but to, give, like, the best, homage to it. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't piss off that many people.
Well, the thing I find funny about
very well.
Episode 7 right now is I've heard people misquoting this. Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, the dude who plays C-3PO, and Lando Calrissian are all rumored people. They haven't signed anything yet.
I hope they do, though. I'd love to see kind of a jaded, world-weary Luke Skywalker who could just kill with a thought. I'd love to see the apex of his character.
Yeah, but I think that I agree with you. Because where they left off is, he's got dark force powers and light force powers. So he's got both going on, and he doesn't really have anybody leading him in one direction or the other.
And not to mention, he barely just became a Jedi by the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, exactly. So
would he be considered a Jedi or a Padawan?
Well, see, that's the thing.
He's left with nothing. He's a master.
Okay, true. So lack of anything above him automatically makes him
the master.
Right.
Anyway, so that I would like to see, him kind of walking the line type of thing, almost like Yoda status,
right.
Like totally the wise but corruptible man. But they're not rumored, they're not signed on yet. They haven't signed anything. It's all kind of in the works type of thing. But as far as J.J. Abrams go, dude, shut up and let him have his go.
The only thing is I hope
he can't do any worse than Lucas.
Well,
true. Look at it like this. Like
the
worst case scenario is you have Joel Schumacher direct a Batman movie.
That was 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Well, that was what was it? Batman Forever or something like that.
He didn't do the first one.
No. I'm saying the comparison to Joel Schumacher directing a Star Wars is 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Because his view of when he did Batman, he's like, it's a comic book. I'm gonna make it look like a comic book. And it's like, you douchebag, you don't like this character at all. is enough of a fanboy.
Read a damn book.
This should be taken seriously.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. I also agree with Ryan. He's got so much stuff to cherry pick.
Yeah.
That there's absolutely no way he can screw up unless he, has Shamalali Ding Dong like consulting.
So you're saying for the first time in a long time, this is the let's just see what we get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
And so next week,
I got stuff.
Okay.
What are you doing? You skipping me?
Okay. Yes.
So first thing, for all you pervs out there, just to let you know, Emma Watson will not be doing 50 Shades of Grey.
That actually makes me really happy.
Yeah, me too.
Because I really actually respect her, and I would hate to see her.
No, I guess it was hackers
ruin her career.
The hackers anonymous, like hacked her account, and were putting out the rumors. So anyway, and now that since we just did, we were talking about Jackie from That 70s Show, let's move on to Kelso.
No.
The biopic on Jobs, for all you fanboys,
it's gonna suck.
Ryan's roommate and John, is not being released in April. It's actually being pushed back. Now, looking at it, I kind of find it funny that this character, Kelso, is going to be playing Steve Jobs.
This
idiot.
Disturbing to me.
The problem with this movie is it's going to be like the social network they did about Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg.
Pretty
it's going to
much.
be complete fabrication and not to the facts of what actually happened.
And see, that's the problem, because you're doing a biopic about one of the single most fascinating people of our lifetime,
and one of the founding fathers of personal computing.
Yeah, and then I'm curious about like what they're going to do with what's his name, Woz, right?
Wozniak.
Yeah, Wozniak. I wonder how they're going to portray him in this. Is he going to be like, I believe you have my stapler guy?
Well, I've heard a couple of clips and a thing about it. It seems like they really downplayed Woz's aspect in Apple.
Sure.
As a geek, if you don't know what he did, Woz actually made that computers. Woz was the technical genius.
And
Steve
Jobs was pretty much the marketing director.
Yeah. Steve Jobs was the world's greatest hype man. He's kind of like the dude who wears a clock around his neck in Public Enemy. I mean, it's.
Right.
I mean, if you think about it, he just happens to be the world's greatest marketer.
So, yeah, I'm actually curious about how they're going to do that. Because, I mean, they really can't portray Woz the way that he really was, because then it's really going to make Jobs look like even more of an asshole than people think he is.
Because Woz did some Steve Jobs did some really
dirty stuff.
Odd.
And just since we already had Ryan doing the fanboy dance, Eli Roth is moving to TV.
What is he doing?
He's doing a show called Hemlock Grove, and basically is a werewolf struggles between his aspect as a werewolf and as being a human. They're portraying this as a horror TV show.
Question is, director or actor?
Director.
Oh, cool.
So he's moving on to there. Now, the only problem I really got for this is Famke's in it. I hate her.
Who?
Yeah, Famke Jensen, whatever you want to say her name is. I do not like her as an actress.
Okay.
I don't.
Aside from who's in it, I like Eli Roth mostly.
Jean Grey.
Yeah.
And James, you know me, dude. I'm as much of a fan of the vampires and werewolves and all this stuff as anybody. But
he even liked Twilight.
Fuck, enough is enough.
But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, because we got what's out.
This thing dry.
What are we doing? We got Vampire Diaries.
Oh man, don't even go through the list. It's just gonna upset
Teen
me.
Wolf. What's the other one? The Witches Circle or Secret Circle?
That's a television show?
Now you're naming stuff I'm not even aware of.
Yeah, same here.
That one's out. Well, they're all these teeny boppy things.
Right, exactly.
Now, can you really see Eli Roth jumping on the teeny boppy shows?
No, he's not going to do it like that. But at the same time, like let's
let's
leave this. This thing
hold
alone
on.
For a
What?
while,
What?
buddy.
And
10 years.
Wait, hold on. What if this was on
and
the
the
level?
Psycho thing. The Psycho thing. What's the Psycho one? The Hotel Bates.
Hostile.
So.
Yeah,
What?
Hotel Bates.
So
is out.
what if this show was
right.
on the level of Justified and The Shield and that type of gritty, just in your face type of cable television show?
That's obviously what he's going to do, because that's what he does, and it's the perfect show in which to do that. But damn, just stop it.
Well, I mean, considering
it's not like it's going to be on like ABC or NBC. I don't even know what station it's going to be on.
But just,
if they're rebooting Escape from New York, they've ran out of ideas a decade ago.
Actually, let me see what network this is going to go on. It might just, if it's going to be on.
If it's an alphabet channel, it's going to suck.
Probably going to be A&E or TNT or one of those new ones that's trying to come up and put basic cable on the map.
It's got to, because if it's on an alphabet channel, it's not going to make it. There's just
it's
no
not
choice.
telling me where it's going to be on, what station it's going to be on. But it's supposed to be released this year.
Well, we'll have to see
or
what happens.
last year. No. Oh, no, 2013. Okay. Well, it says 2012, and then it says 2013 later. Anyways, but I don't know. I kind of find it interesting that, Eli Roth is jumping from movies to TV.
Probably a lot of money in TV
There's
right
probably
now.
more money.
And not to mention a little bit of, security. He can probably work in a specific location, stick around at home. He doesn't have to, leave his family. It's probably just easier.
I mean, wasn't that the reason Charlie Sheen's doing television now? I mean, he's not doing movies.
No, because he wanted to be the wizard at home.
The Warlock.
Oh, Warlock, thank you.
Warlock. Yeah.
Winning.
Drinking tiger blood.
Ugh.
Anyways, but so I just thought that was kind of interesting that Eli was doing that, and I know you like Eli. I like him too. I think he's a great.
I hope
great director.
I hope it's successful. I hate to see anybody fail. This looks interesting enough like it might make it, but I agree with Ryan. At this point, you can't throw a dead cat without hitting some sort of vampire, werewolf, monster television show.
The market is saturated.
Oversaturated.
I
All
agree.
they're needing is zombies, and it would be the perfect pop movie.
Wait,
That's
you mean
what I'm
like
saying.
Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Don't talk crap about The Walking
But
Dead.
but The Walking Dead is great, but you have to leave it alone now because they've done it as good as it's going to be. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just keep making zombie movies forever. The way
What,
that
you
they've
mean
done it
like
with
Warm
vampires.
Bodies? You know you want to go see Warm Bodies.
Okay, right. Do you have any news before we close out today's show?
Not really.
Not really?
My damn car was stolen, so I've been a little preoccupied.
So that's your news?
So
What happens
next,
when you live in the ghetto, people.
next
If
week,
you see his car, pull the person out and beat them, and then take his car to him.
Absolutely.
it says Ryan's car right on the side.
On the side of it.
So we discussed last week before the show what was the theme going to be for the next coming month, and what did we decide?
We decided on animated, pretty much.
Okay.
Oh, we did? Oh, sweet.
Yeah, because you had a movie you wanted to pick.
Oh, well, yeah, I have a small list of things.
Now,
and
I have a question
it's
for you.
that
Are you
genre.
going to be doing both or single? Now,
they're
audience,
part
we're not
one
gonna
and
tell
two.
you.
Are we doing my pick?
Not
no-
right now, but I'm just
Oh,
asking,
okay.
are you doing 1 and 2 together? Because I did Gantz 1 and 2 together, remember?
Right, yeah, well, because it's part 1 and part 2, so it's the same.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, next week there may or may not be a show. Unfortunately, I have jury duty, so it really depends if I get called, which sucks. But I'm gonna do Wizards, made in 1977. If you want to go
Nice.
something that very interesting animation style.
Was that Franken and Bass?
I actually don't know. It was it was Ralph Bass, Bakshi. But this animation is very 70s, and they don't do it like this anymore. So this will be interesting.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear James and Ryan's.
I've already seen it.
Well, I can't wait to hear what they say about it. So next week we're doing the Wizards if I don't get called. So here's
Okay.
hoping.
All right.
So I gave the Great and Powerful Oz a 3. James gave it a 4. Yeah, I'm close enough.
Yeah,
Right.
Dyslexia kicking in.
Horseshoes, hand grenades, and movie titles.
Exactly. Hey, come on, give it a couple of years, they'll remake this one. And Ryan gave it a 3. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.